Hey, what's up YouTube? This is ChrisIsSoPro, and I'm coming at you with my first tech update. Now, with the release of Stardust Overdrive and Absolute Power Force, we got a new set of monsters that's kind of being overlooked just a little bit. I see some people that are getting the same idea as I've been getting. But these monsters are the Djinns of Rituals, or as they're known in Japan, I've got it right here, or as they're known in Japan, the Ritual Devils. They're a series of fiend-type monsters that, when you want to ritual summon, you can actually use them as ritual materials, but they're in your while you're in your graveyard, and you have to remove them from play. Each Djinn monster has a special effect that it gives that ritual monster, and I'm going to show you all of them. The first one is Djinn, Curse Enchanter of Rituals. His effect says that when you ritual summon the ritual monster, of course, you can remove from play this graveyard as one of the monsters required for that ritual summon. All of them say that. When the monster ritual summoned using this card effect is face up on the field, synchro monster's effects are negated. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, actually. Now, I'm going to go through all of these guys' effects before we could go through the possible ritual targets. Next one is Djinn, Desir of Rituals. He's the TCG exclusive. But this one says that the ritual monster summoned using this card is not affected by trap cards. It gives it the effect of a Wild Heart, which is pretty good. But it's one of those that can get overlooked. Which kind of makes me regret trading for this. But whatever, it's still cool. I could still, Foolish Burial and stuff. Next one is Djinn, Presider of Rituals. His effect is the monster ritual summoned using the card destroys a monster by battle. The controller of the ritual monster draws a card. That's a pretty good effect, but the monster that I'm considering abusing these Djinns with in a future deck possibly, that doesn't really help it out much. Next one is Djinn, Prognosticator of Rituals. I bet you won't find anybody else that could say that correctly. But when the ritual monster does battle, and doesn't battle damage, you could discard a card from your opponent's hand. Or actually, your opponent must select and discard one card, but I think that's pretty much how all things go. But hand control this format is alright, but it's not as great as it was other formats. Like, X-Sabers are pretty much the only things that can abuse hand control this format, though. But that's just because they've got the special summons to back it up. And the final one. Did you know that ritual monsters have their own Archlord Christia? Yep. This is Djinn, Releaser of Rituals, a Stardust Overdrive release. While the monster ritual summoned using this card is face up on the field, your opponent cannot special summon. Considering that we have so many cards out there like Skill Drain and stuff like that, this is kind of a big card. Negate opponent's monster effects. We got Skill Drain, we got Bottomless is to get rid of all their normal summons, and other cards that can just stop effects. But think about it. With all the support and this card right here, you can pull off some pretty big damage. Now, you may be thinking, what ritual monster is so good that you can break these cards with? And the choice is kind of iffy. There can be many counter arguments, which I myself think about all the time. But here is that card. Okay, there are two cards. But the first one really isn't as much of an unobvious thing as I originally thought. So, yeah, Demise. With Demise being a built-in JD with itself, and since it's an 8-star ritual monster, you could fit in multiple of those Djinns. Meaning you could probably fit in the anti-special summon and the anti-trap card. Maybe even more. Which is really cool, but actually Demise is pretty broken with this, I'm not gonna lie. But, you get your anti-synchro summon, your anti-special summon, which the anti-special summon is amazing. Anti-trap, the battle damage one too, so get rid of your opponent's extra options. You know what? Demise with these Djinn things is just freaking amazing. And since you could take an Allure of Darkness in here, since they're all dark. Oh, wow. Wow, I'm going to pick up some Demises now. I've just made a realization in the middle of this, but I've mentioned that there is another card, so I'm going to have to mention that too. So here's the other card. The other card is Relinquished, guys. The attack and defense of the card becomes the same amount as the monster you equip to this card by your opponent's card. You basically equip an opponent's monster to it, like Plasma. And if this card is destroyed as a result of battle, the equipped monster is destroyed instead, and any battle damage you receive from the battle is also inflicted to your opponent's life, which makes you really, really glad about. Which makes it kind of alright to grab one of your opponent's set monsters if that's the only thing that they've got. But the only downside of Relinquished is that 1 star right there. And you can only send one of the Djinns, because their rulings say you can't send multiple over the amount. But, that's pretty much it. Just remember, keep these monsters in mind, man. These could come up one day and just bite somebody in the ass. Bring back that Demise control. Maybe not Demise OTK, but a Demise control deck. Basically making the Demise immune to a bottomless that's coming up. But, rate, comment, subscribe, guys. Peace.